I'm Jennifer from Craft Forest. Today we're going to make a super fun fortune cookie pillow. These are so great. A while back we made a little mini fortune cookie for Valentine's Day and thought these would be so fun to do for any time. Birthdays, graduation gift, you could really customize the message and make it uniquely yours. So to make this project we need just a few things. I'm going to move this over and show you what we need. So we need to be able to make a big circle. So I'm going to use this guy here, just a little template to make a circle, but you can use really anything you can find at home. You can use a bucket. I cut a circle from a rug that I had at home. It's really, really easy. So we need some sort of fabric. I'm using some fleece that you can get just from your local fabric store, and you're going to need some felt. Also, you can get that anywhere at a craft store, hobby store, that sort of thing. So that's really all you need. We are going to use the sewing machine for this project, but I promise it's very minimal and very easy and you can do it. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to need to do is to cut our circle. And I'm just going to use a pen, and I'm going to use the template that I have here, but again you can use anything that you have. Okay, so I'm going to open this up and get the lint off there. And on this fleece there is a wrong side and a right side, so I'm just going to look over here and you can see kind of this little part here, this selvage part. I'm going to cut on that side just in case any of my pen shows. So I'm going to go ahead and just trace around here. And again, nothing fancy, I'm just using a pen, kind of just guiding it around, making my mark so that I know where to cut my circle. Okay? So take that out and you can see I've got a circle here. And we're just going to cut that out. I have one through the magic of television, one that is already cut. So we're going to grab that guy and show you. Whoops, sorry, everybody's sticking there. All right, so I mentioned that I used a rug that I had at home. So this is a little bit bigger. This one's about 26 inches in diameter, and that's actually what I used for the examples. So I've got one big circle here now. I'm going to do two things that are actually going to turn it into this shape. First, I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, and we're just going to make kind of a little dumpling shape here, just fold it in half, and then we're going to make a few stitches, and what we're going to do is actually grab a pin, and I'm just going to do this just to show you where we're going to start sewing. And you want to start about a 1/2 inch from your fold line here. Just kind of stick a little pin in there, we're just going to eyeball it, and we're going to put about 1.5 inches of stitches here, and that's all we're going to need. So let's head on over to the sewing machine, and you can easily do this by hand sewing as well if you don't have access to a sewing machine. So let's head over, I'll show you how to stitch this up, and then we'll meet right back here. Okay, so you can see that we just put a small little line here right down the center. We've got about 1/2 inch up at the top, and then we've got the big open space here. So this is very, very similar to the smaller fortune cookie tutorial that we did, but we're going to enclose this one, so it's a little bit of a variation. But the way that we're going to make this into our fortune cookie shape is we've got this, we've got our half circle. We're actually going to use these two sides, these flaps. We're almost going to flip them in on top of each other to make the shape. So the first thing we're going to do is grab from the bottom and flip that guy up, and then we're going to grab from the top and flip him. And you can see that we've already got this little kind of puff, this little pocket here that's popping up and looking like the fold of our fortune cookie. We've got an open edge, and when we flip it around, we've already got the shape. Now we want this to be kind of a pillow, we want it to be a little more substantial, so we're going to fill this with stuffing, but already just as it is, we've got a great shape here. Okay, so now that we have our shape, the next thing we're going to do is enclose part of the fortune cookie, and we're going to leave a piece open so that we can stuff it, and then we can add a little banner here with our note. Okay, so you can leave your shape just as it is, and we're just going to stitch right along the outside here, and you can do just a straight top stitch or any sort of decorative stitch. We did just a little blanket stitch on the machine for these guys here. So we're going to go over to the machine, and we're going to remember to stitch all the way around, and we're just going to leave about 2.5 to 3 inches open here at the end so that we can fill this and stuff it. So let's head over to the machine again. Okay, and you don't really have to worry about seam allowances or any of those types of things. We're going to go at about 1/4 inch just so that we are consistent going around. I'm not the greatest sewer. It's probably not going to be straight, but we'll do our best. Okay, so here we go. We're going to take just a few quick back stitches so we can keep that in, and then we're just going to go around. Okay, and you just want to make sure that you're catching both sides of that fabric. Sometimes when you're a beginning sewer, it's a little tricky with thicker fabric, just making sure that you're getting both sides there. So we're just going to go slow and steady. You can speed it up a little if you want. We're just going to go straight around that edge. Okay, now we've got the edge sewn up and we've left an opening here. One thing to note too, when you're a beginning sewer, just make sure that you leave enough space here that you actually are catching both sides. You can always trim it up afterwards. So now that we have our shape of our fortune cookie sewn, we're going to stuff it. And we're just going to use some Poly-Fil, if we can find it here. Here we go. All right, we're just going to use some of this, and you can get this at any hobby shop, quilt shop. We're just going to stick this stuff in here, just this batting. You can also use things that you have at home. If you have old scrap t-shirts or any fabric that you want to cut up, you can easily use that as well. And you can put as much or as little as you want, just depending on sort of when you feel happy. And I'm going to slide this all the way around just to kind of fill up that side. And we kind of want to get a little bump here, kind of where the fold is of the cookie, because that's really what gives it its shape. Okay, so we're just going to put kind of the finishing touches in here. I used maybe 4 or 5 big handfuls, but again, just kind of eyeball it and decide what you want. All right, I think that looks pretty good. We're just kind of going to move it around, squish it around. I love this fabric. It's so soft and cozy. All right, so we're done with that. And now we've still got our opening here. We can do a couple of things. For the example ones, I made just a little flag banner with felt, but we can do anything. You can print on fabric, you can put a piece of ribbon, you can really do anything you want for your message. For the purpose of this tutorial, we're just going to stick with felt. So we're going to grab our felt, and we have 2 colors here. We have pink and red, but really you can use any color you want. Imagine for a birthday or any other holiday, any other event, you can use any color you want. But for Valentine's Day, we're going to stick with pink and red. We're going to cut a strip that is about 1 inch wide and just as long as you want it to be. Okay, it's just a simple little strip here. And then we're going to eyeball making the tail so we can make it kind of pointed here. We're going to just cut a little triangle. So we've got our ends here. We're going to put them together and just cut a little triangle and guide it straight down so that it makes our ribbon ends. Super, super easy. All right, so we already have a few little things cut over here, but I think I want to do a little red heart on top of that one. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little rectangle and fold it over like when you're in school and just cut a little heart here. And then we can easily attach it, and we're going to slide our flags in and we're going to sew that piece up. So you want to make sure that the flag end is pointing out. So we're going to grab just a little bit of adhesive and put that heart on. And you could easily put a message, you could handwrite on it with a Sharpie. Actually, let's do that. We can even just do like, I love you, okay? And then we're just going to attach this guy right here. Super easy, okay? Stick that on, hold it for a second. And I'm just using regular fabric adhesive, but you can use a glue gun, anything that you have, okay? All right, so once we've got the little fabric flag, the I love you flag, we're actually going to put it inside and kind of stitch up the end of this pillow. So what I'm going to do is position it right here along the edge. I'm going to slide it in. I'm going to line up these 2 pieces, and I'm just going to finish top stitching straight down. So I'm going to go back over to the sewing machine. I've got my flag in. I'm just going to hold it. You can pin it if you want to, just to hold it in place. But for this small amount, I think we'll be okay. So I'm going to grab this guy and head back over to the machine. Okay. And again, we're just going to top stitch just like we did before. We'll go ahead and back stitch right where we left off. Okay. And we're going to stitch this all the way to the end, and that's going to enclose your flag right inside there. Okay, and just finish that guy up. There we go. Okay. All right, we're going to cut off these little strings, this little excess. There we go. And we are done. Check it out. We've got a super cute pillow that you can give as a gift for Valentine's Day, for a birthday, for graduation, anything you can think of. So this has been Jennifer with Craft Forest. Again, as always, just get out there and make something. Be creative. You can do it, and we can help you.